Hey everybody, Errol here from At The Edge, Lessons in Culture and Leadership. Today I'm going to talk about something controversial. We're going to unpack the war on diversity, equity and inclusion, otherwise known as DEI. So I'm going to talk about why in recent times DEI has fallen out of favour, and also share with you the 3 steps that leaders can do to navigate one of the most complicated issues of our times. So please stay tuned. Until recently, DEI has been a staple of corporate strategy. Just 5 years ago, in the wake of George Floyd's murder and the Black Lives Matter movement, organisations went through a period of profound introspection. This time was marked by a genuine commitment to confronting systemic discrimination and creating equity in the workplace. However, more recently, global giants such as Meta, Amazon, Ford, McDonald's and Walmart have all announced they are scaling back funding to DEI programs. For some companies, this has been about economic pressures. For others, it's been about external criticism or political resistance. And at the same time, in the US, some states have enacted legislation restricting DEI initiatives, and this is further complicating corporate strategies. And finally, as we discussed this in early February 2025, in the wake of recent tragedies such as the wildfires in California and the crash of an American Airlines flight with an Army helicopter over Washington, D.C., Donald Trump has explicitly blamed these events on DEI. This is leading to a growing debate. Is DEI essential for business success, or has it become a politicised burden? To address this question, we need to reflect on the purpose and the function of DEI initiatives and what we hope to achieve from them. One option is to see DEI as a symbol of socio-political correctness. If this is the case, critics of DEI, probably with good reason, will argue that these programs have become more performative, with companies engaging in virtue signalling rather than making meaningful change. And if employees see DEI as mechanisms to drive, say, quota-driven compliance, it's easy to see why DEI can be more exclusive than inclusive. So if this is the rationale for DEI, I will happily join the chorus of people speaking up against DEI programs. Spending money on DEI in this way is not an effective use of valuable company resources such as time and money. Alternatively, we can see DEI as a catalyst for business performance. There is an abundance of research that consistently demonstrates that more diverse teams outperform more homogeneous teams in innovation, problem solving, and even profitability. Cultures where there's more inclusion create greater engagement, reduce turnover, and enhance company reputation. And when in more inclusive cultures foster more belonging and more engagement, there's more discretionary effort. This is a fancy word which just means going the extra mile. Furthermore, when we have inclusion, we also have more psychological safety. And many of the key drivers of performance, such as coaching, collaboration, innovation, all require psychological safety to really thrive. So when viewed from this perspective, DEI can be a powerful mover and driver of performance in an organisation. So here is the real reason for the war on DEI. The fact is that many organisations have failed to align DEI to core business objectives and rather reduced it to a tick box exercise founded on socio-political correctness. When we actually align DEI to core business objectives, it radically changes how we think about DEI, how we design and deliver it, and what we hope to achieve from it. To be effective, DEI programs must focus on building cultural capability rather than leveraging socio-political correctness to create division and, frankly, make people feel bad about themselves. So as leaders, how do we navigate the complicated terrain of DEI? I think there are 3 steps. The first step is to cultivate the mental frameworks so we can explicitly integrate DEI with core business. This requires us to depoliticize how we think about DEI and shift our language from one of obligation and compliance to one of how do we use DEI to gain a competitive edge. The second step is to use a process of robust critical reflection and identify those elements of an organisation, particularly cultural elements, which can maximally drive performance and again give us a competitive edge. For example, it could be to get better at innovation. It could be to get better at attracting and retaining more talented people. It could be to drive a culture where giving and receiving constructive feedback is not only tolerated, it's actually sought after. And then the third step is to explicitly link DEI initiatives to these cultural capabilities. For example, having a culture where there's more inclusion is going to support giving and receiving constructive feedback. In more equitable cultures, companies are going to better retain and attract talented individuals. So to be useful into the future, DEI programs must satisfy 2 essential criteria. Firstly, they must focus on building cultural capability. And secondly, rather than dividing a workforce, they must unite people around a common goal or vision. So, in conclusion, we cannot afford to see this debate around the value of DEI as a culture war, because this is a war that nobody is going to win. We have to see it as a business challenge. It is the companies that approach DEI commercially rather than politically that are going to gain a competitive edge. Therefore, the key question for leaders is, how do we not succumb to the seductive pull of seeing DEI through a political lens and rather see it as a catalyst to drive organisational performance? Over to you.